According to a report from Futurism, OpenAI, the people behind ChatGPT, have hired a psychiatrist, a full-time dedicated psychiatrist, to figure out why their AI system is causing mental health crises. And by mental health crises, they mean AI users keep killing themselves. This is wild. I mean, it would almost makes you want to laugh if it weren't so doggone serious and wasn't costing people's lives. In fact, in one instance, a man killed himself after, and this is a direct quote from the article, ChatGPT encouraged him to assassinate Sam Altman, the OpenAI CEO, in retaliation for supposedly killing his lover who was trapped inside of the chatbot. You could make a pretty good case that the individual in question may have had some psychological issues unrelated to the AI system, but it's absolutely crazy. And the general nutty AI stories doesn't end there. Also this week, you may have noticed that Microsoft laid off roughly 9,000 people, right? This was especially hard-hitting Microsoft's games division and their Xbox division and whatnot. But here's what's nuts. The executive producer of the Xbox Game Studios, Matt Turnbull, recommended that the people who were laid off, all those 9,000 Microsoft employees, this is very much a real thing, use AI chatbots to help with their strong feelings and cognitive load. So AI chatbots are causing people to kill themselves. OpenAI is hiring a psychiatrist to diagnose ChatGPT and figure out why that's happening. And Microsoft is just going full bore and saying, oh, by the way, we just fired you. You know what? Maybe you should use ChatGPT. Yeah. I'm just going to read a couple of tidbits here from this Futurism article because it's interesting. OpenAI says it's hired a forensic psychiatrist as its users keep sliding into a mental health crisis. We're developing ways to scientifically measure how ChatGPT's behavior might affect people emotionally. So the writer of this article's name was Frank Landymore. It's worth reading over at Futurism. Quote, one intriguing detail from a most recent story about this disturbing trend is OpenAI's response. It's hired a full-time clinical psychiatrist with a background in forensic psychiatry to help research the effects of its AI products on users' mental health. It's also consulting with other mental health experts, OpenAI said, highlighting the research it's done with MIT that found signs of problematic usage among some users. We've already seen some of the tragic real-world consequences this can have. Last year, a 14-year-old boy died by suicide after falling in love with a persona on the chatbot platform Character.ai. Adults are vulnerable to this sycophancy too. A 35-year-old man with a history of mental illness recently died by suicide by cop after ChatGPT encouraged him to assassinate Sam Altman in retaliation for supposedly killing his lover trapped inside the chatbot. That story's insane. I mean, the fact that that is occurring in the world, a guy who committed suicide by cop, right, basically forced a cop to shoot him after an AI chatbot encouraged him to go assassinate the CEO of the company that builds the chatbot as a retaliation for Sam Altman, the CEO, killing his lover who was inside the chatbot, part of the chatbot. It's crazy. That's insane. The article continues, mental health professionals outside of OpenAI have raised plenty of concerns about the technology, especially as more people are turning to the tech to serve as their therapists. A psychiatrist who recently posed as a teenager while using some of the most popular chatbots found that some would encourage him to commit suicide after expressing a desire to seek the afterlife or to, quote, get rid of his parents after complaining about his family. Wow. So, okay. All right. So all of that's happening, right? I mean, the real world effects of these AI systems is just, it's not a pretty thing, right? But then what Microsoft turned around and did was just phenomenal. I'm going to read this here. I've got the, oh, shoot, that's really, really tiny. Let's see if I can, there we go. I can make that a little bigger. I've got a screenshot of a LinkedIn post from Matt Turnbull, the executive producer over at Xbox Games. He posted this immediately following all 9,000 plus Microsoft employees, very heavily focused on the games divisions, were laid off this last week. He then quickly deleted this, but thankfully, the technology to create screenshots has existed. So we've got the full screenshot here. I'm going to just go ahead and read some of this to you now because it's insane. These are really challenging times, and if you're navigating a layoff or even quietly preparing for one, you're not alone, and you don't have to go it alone. I know these types of tools engender strong feelings in people, but I'd be remiss in not trying to offer the best advice I can under the circumstances. I've been experimenting with ways to use LLM AI tools like ChatGPT or Copilot to help reduce the emotional and cognitive load that comes with job loss. Just stop right there for a second. The phrase navigating a layoff is one of the jerkiest phrases a manager can use. Oh my word. Oh my heavens. So, I mean, if you've been in the tech industry for long enough, you've been involved in layoffs. You get swept up in layoffs. You see other people in your divisions or in your divisions near you get laid off. You experience them in some way. And people have used the phrase navigating layoffs or navigating a layoff several times, and it just comes across as such a jerky move. Anyway, don't ever use that phrase if you're in management. Don't ever use that phrase. And then when he goes on to talk about how he's encouraging people to use these tools like Copilot. So Microsoft lays you off and then says, man, I know that's got to be hard for you emotionally, and you've got a lot of cognitive load that comes with this loss. But if you want to use Microsoft, the company who just laid you off, our own AI chatbot Copilot, that might help your cognitive load. Like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Here are some prompt ideas he gives and use cases that might help if you're feeling overwhelmed. Some of them are like, career planning and resume help and networking. And then, of course, there's emotional clarity and confidence. Quote, this is a prompt that he recommends people use with the chatbots. I'm struggling with imposter syndrome after being laid off. Can you help me reframe this experience in a way that reminds me what I'm good at? End quote. Oh my word. I'm not a man who is prone to violence, but this makes me want to find the most blunt, dull spoon I can and just go to town attacking someone with this. Because, oh my word, I'm struggling with imposter syndrome and just to be clear, I'm not actually suggesting someone go commit violence, because I know there are so many people out there that whenever they hear me say something like, oh my gosh, I'd kill a hobo to get a donut right now. If I say a phrase like that, they'll think, oh, did you hear what Lunduke said? He really wants to murder people who are experiencing homelessness. Like, no, I just really want a donut, and that was a colorful way to say it. I don't actually want to stab anyone with a spoon right now. I just really don't like the phrasing. I'm struggling with imposter syndrome after being laid off. No, just don't. Never say any of those words strung together. Anyway, he deleted this almost immediately. But thank heavens we got the screenshots from this executive producer at Xbox Game Studios, Matt Turnbull. Holy heavens. So this is what's happening in the world of AI right now. It is nuts and it is crazy. And oh my word, John Connor would be so disappointed, and so many people also told you so. Yuck. Thank you to the Lunduke Journal subscribers for helping to make this content possible. I just use the word content to refer to my own stuff. Speaking of words and phrases that should never be used in certain ways, I hate it. I hate it when people refer to a show or an article or a work of art as content. Oh, I'm a content creator. I create content. No, I've been here. I was literally, before I recorded this, I was just reading an article and a bunch of comments that use the phrase content creator over and over again. So I have create content like on the brain as a phrase, but I hate that phrase. And now my own personal feelings about myself are diminished significantly for having used it. No, this is a show. This is a show that I make right now. It's not content. Anyway, what was I even talking about? I don't know. Lunduke.com. Go there and click on some links. Support the show. Thank you to everyone who makes it possible. I really couldn't do it without you, because we don't take a single penny from any big tech company, or little tech company for that matter. No one can influence what the Lunduke Journal says. Truly independent, completely and utterly independent, ad-free, big tech-free, and non-woke. That's the way to do tech journalism, baby. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, nerds and nerdettes, across the inner tubes, I do declare, end broadcast.